So I will call the meeting to order at 10:03. Welcome to the Monday, March 8th RGB Board meeting. To the community members and board members that are tuned in. I would like to start with the board members introducing themselves. And I guess I'll just call on you and if you want to introduce yourself. Asher? Go ahead, Asher.
Hello, everyone. My name is Asher Edelson. I'm proud to be here, and I'm happy to join this this meeting. And I hope everyone's having a wonderful morning like I am.
Mike Cutler.
Hi, everyone. Mike Cutler. I'll echo Asher's sentiments. Happy to be here. Excited to be on this board, and yeah, happy Monday.
Jackie.
Jackie Kelly. It is a great day today, and I have a quiet dog this morning.
Fran.
Francis Kenny, and every day's good for me.
John.
Did you say John? Yeah,
Yep.
John McDonald. Yeah, I'm happy to be here too. You know, been on the board for a little while, not as long as Fran and Leon, but a little while. Anyway, and happy to be here.
Ken.
Ken Svrtsd, glad to be here. Haven't been on that long, but enjoy the group. Seems like it's a great place to work and for kids to learn.
Yep.
Leon.
Leon Johnson. Somebody made the comment about being on the board for a long time, and yes, I sit on the Mount Anthony and the Career Development Center board and the SVSU. So I really enjoy tying all of them together because I can make everything work throughout the whole district when you see some of everything. So glad to be back on board.
Great. Art.
It's Art Height Co. Happy to be here. Have a good day all.
TJ. You can unmute.
Hi, Anthony Williams or TJ. Happy Monday. Happy to be here. And ready to move forward.
Great. Okay. First, I'd like to thank the voters for passing our budget and Becky and Kathy Vosberg for all their work and presenting a great budget. I'd also like to thank the voters for the election of our board members. We had a couple new board members, and I'm not going to say an old board member. I'll say a re-election of a board member.
Hey, old now is good because you get your shots first.
So at this point in time, is there any public comments? Okay. Seeing none, then we'll move on to the board reorganization and the election of officers. I'll need nominations for chairperson. And if you
I'll nominate John McDonald.
Second,
second by
Ken.
Ken. Are there any other nominations?
Move close nominations.
Second,
Okay, all in favor? And all in favor in the nomination of John McDonald as chairperson, raise your hand. Okay, unanimous. So at this point in time, John, I'm gonna.
You got somebody on the phone, remember?
It is a community member.
No, Anthony's on the phone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Anthony, you're on mute. So
Oh.
yay or nay?
Yay.
Okay. Thank you, Leon.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pass it on to you, John.
Okay, we'll open, thank you all for your participation so far. We'll open it up for nominations for vice chair.
I'll nominate myself if nobody wants to do it.
I'll second it. I'll second.
All right, any other nominations?
Move close nominations.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of Leon Johnson to the office of vice chair? Anthony?
I'm sorry. Can you not see me? Is that what's going on?
Right.
We can't see you yet. Have you got your camera turned on?
I do. Let me, sorry, I don't do a whole lot of Zoom calls, so let me figure this out. But it's a yay for me, and I'll figure this out tomorrow.
Okay, thanks. Okay, and also nominations for clerk. I would nominate Jackie Kelly again. She's done a great job for us so far.
I'll second that.
You have to make a motion to close the nominations, though.
I motion to close nominations.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of Jackie Kelly being the clerk for another term? Raise your hands, please, or speak up if you don't have a picture. Okay, thank you.
We lost.
It's unanimous. Looks and sounds unanimous as well, so.
A motion to close.
Motion to, oh, yeah.
Move to close nominations. Yeah.
Right.
whatever.
All right, the next order of business is to set our meeting times. Since we're still in the COVID thing, we can't get together at the we can't get together at the center. So I don't know if there's much discussion about. There won't be any discussion about location, but does anybody have any suggestions about the meeting times, the dates, well, and so forth?
So since the pandemic, we've been meeting the second Monday of the month via Zoom at 10 a.m.
I think that's a good time. That's what, for me, in the mornings right now, it's a good time since COVID's going on. So I don't know who's out here working and how that may affect them. I can speak up, but I think it's good.
Same here.
I'd leave it as is.
I like it.
Does that work for all of you new guys as well?
Yep.
Okay.
I can make that work.
So can we, somebody want to make a motion to?
I'll make
Keep
the
the-
motion to keep it at 10 a.m. on the second Mondays via Zoom until it's safe to reconvene in person.
I'll
Okay.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Raise your hand. Okay, that's unanimous. Okay.
John,
The,
so I don't mean to interrupt you, but just so you know, we do have a recording from Mike that he would like played during this meeting. We can certainly do it now or wait until the superintendent remarks.
Do you want to finish the reorganization stuff and then go to Mike?
Sure.
Okay, so if you got your packets or your thing, you'll notice that the dates and so forth are listed on that. If that's in your paper packet or on your computer. The next thing we need to do is to approve the paper record, which is currently the Bennington Banner, where all of our warnings and so forth are posted. And Are there any other suggestions or?
I move
does that work?
No, I move that we adopt the Bennington banner as a paper of records again.
Second.
I would ask them to also put the information in the Manchester Journal, since we represent the people up north, up there, Manchester, Dorset, and so forth.
Absolutely.
Any comments?
I believe that when we put it in the Bennington Banner, it also goes into the Manchester Journal. They do a co-publishing, so it will be in there as
Okay.
well.
Thank you.
Great.
So all in favor, please raise your hand. That's also unanimous. We need to approve off warrant signers, which is the chair, the vice chair, and the clerk. That's on times when a warrant needs to be signed and there's no meeting scheduled within reasonable time for that. Those three people then would be contacted to sign a warrant. So
I'll move it.
here we have a motion
Second
to.
it. Fran moved it, I second it, to keep the same
Okay.
three people as the assigners for off warrant.
Are there any questions?
So just let the new members know that the warrants are still approved by the total board at the next meeting.
Right. Yeah, you'll see them all. It's just that some things come up and you have to get the signature earlier. It's just an off time in the month, so. All right, so all in favor then? Raise your
Aye.
hand, please.
Mm.
Okay. If there's anything else on here before we go.
Code of ethics.
Right, we have a Board of Ethics listing here with all of the requirements. I'm hoping that at some point we can all, although this is a sample, so we can all put one up someplace for us all to sign at some point. Rebecca, is that possible? So that we
Yes.
have that on record?
So what I can do is I can take the document and I can, through DocuSign, like we do the warrants, I can send it out to all board members to sign electronically. And right now, during COVID, that signature will stand.
Okay.
And then if and or when we get back in person, we can always get hard copy signatures, but for now, DocuSign will hold up in court if questioned or whatever. It's legal. So I'll make sure and get that out to everybody. So we have that on file.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question, John, for that.
Yeah.
There was two things associated with this, I think. The board as a whole was supposed to look at the code of ethics and decide that we would use those as the ethics for the whole board as a group. And the second part of that comes around as to whether individual board members want to sign that to agree to abide by those particular things. This is something we ran into where we had the code of ethics and then someone didn't sign it because they didn't agree, I think, with maybe everything on it. I didn't have a chance to do that. So I just wanted to open that up for discussion and see how we wanted to manage that so we can take care of things right this time in case if something come up with some of the items on the code of ethics. Everybody need to be make sure that they understand what they are and what they're signing and moving on from that. So.
Leon, I think what the problem is, it's like today with what's happening in the political world. Rules and things only apply to certain people. And that's why you have people that don't want to sign code of ethics or any of that stuff. And you don't have to sign it. You can't force anybody to sign it. So, I mean, you've got that part. So maybe we should have a meeting on just why you need to sign it or why you don't have to sign it. So it's out there, because it really doesn't, again, you really can't force somebody to sign anything. It's like up at the hospital or any of that stuff. A good lawyer will tell you, you don't have to sign anything. I've used
Right.
enough lawyers, so I know about that.
And that's why I wanted to make sure, John, that one, as a board, I wanted to adopt the school board code of ethics for the CD Center as for something that we endorse, and we're going to post out on our website out there. Then the next part of that will be that if we would like to have every board member sign it, but just like Fran mentioned, every board member may not agree and want to go along with all those things. You can't force anybody to sign. So that motion that's down here, I would like to move the motion to adopt the school board code of ethics for the Career Development Center as a whole, so that would be part of what we stand for as a technical center, and we can pass it around and have board members sign it if they want to.
So Leon, are you referring to the Vermont School Boards Association Code of Ethics?
Yes.
That's what that is, and with all those things, it's the same. It should be the same.
I would second that.
Okay, and then I don't know whether if everybody, everybody will have an opportunity to read it, and since everybody's here, they have an opportunity to, or they recognize that they're not required to sign it, but they have the opportunity to sign it if they wish.
Sure. No, that's fine.
Is that correct?
Right.
So,
Okay,
And-
so does everybody have in their Dropbox or in their paper copies, a copy of the code of ethics, so that they can read it at their leisure, and then when you get word from Rebecca, we can sign it if they wish.
She's
Right.
got a hand up, John.
Yeah.
so I just as clarification, John, is the board going to meet and discuss it further, or are we approving that sample as is before I send it out? I don't know if Leon is suggesting that your board meet first, or are you just suggesting to accept the sample as is?
I would like to have you adopt it just like it is, because we're going to have reviews later on to do things, and if something needs to change or add, we'll be able to do that.
Okay, I just needed clarification, and that will be, if the board votes on this, then I will make sure this copy without the word sample gets sent out for board members to choose whether or not they want to sign it. So,
Was there a second for Leon's motion?
Seconded.
Yes.
Well, then, all those in favor of adopting the Vermont School Board Association Code of Ethics for school board members?
Aye.
Raise your hand. Okay, so that's unanimous. And Becky will get the rest of it out to us for individual signatures or not. Okay. So,
John?
yeah,
I just had one other question back with the meeting dates, that there was a proposed calendar of dates that was sent out in the packet.
mhm,
But there are dates where there's conflicts, which is the April, which would be the next meeting.
right.
So it would need to be decided. I just also wanted to give some input from the business office perspective. March 8th, because we don't get business documents, our bank statements until a few days into the month. It would
Mhm.
work better for the business office if it was, or for the April 5th, I'm sorry. It would work better if it was the 19th versus the 5th. If you want to see the business finance documents. If you're okay without them on that meeting and seeing both in May, then we're okay with either date suggested, but a decision will have to be made because that is the next meeting, whether you want to do the 5th or the 19th.
Okay, should we do it before or after spring break, folks?
I say after.
After,
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, so the next meeting will be on April 19th. And there are a couple of other times when I think that where that comes up always once, or at least on the calendar list, it mentions next April's break as well. So but that's usually the only times that comes up. So all those in favor of the 19th for April,
aye.
raise your hand, please. Thank you. Okay. That's unanimous as well. Okay. Let's hear from Mike.
You want to do the mic recording now?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
So again, we're just moving out of order of the agenda and going to the superintendent's report. And in a moment, I will share my screen, and it is just an audio, but I will just make sure that everyone can hear.
Well, I can go back, we can go back to the original agenda if you want.
No,
or the original order on the agenda.
Nope, that's perfectly fine.
Dear Regional Governing Board members,
I just want to make sure, could everybody hear that intro?
Yep.
Yeah.
Make sure volume was okay and it was playing fine.
Dear Regional Governing Board members and members of the public, it is with deep regret that I am unable to attend today's annual reorganization meeting due to family illness. For past members who served on this board and were not successful in retaining their elected seats, I say thank you for the courage to run. Thank you for your courage to serve the students in our regional community. And thank you for always supporting the center as a whole. Also, thank you to Michael Munson for his service on the Regional Governing Board. Also, thank you to Ed Letourneau for his years of service on the Regional Governing Board. I would like to welcome back to the board Dr. Jacqueline Kelly and welcome new members Asher Edelson, Michael Cutler, and Anthony T.J. Williams. Welcome to the board. Finally, I would like to thank the voters of this entire service region. A budget passed by nearly 70%. Thank you for the belief you have put in your Regional Career and Technical Center and the foundations of futures being built here. Southwest Tech, as we are now officially known, serves high school and adult students from the southwestern region of Vermont, as well as adjacent New York. We serve high school students from Arlington, Bennington, Dorset, Glastonbury, Manchester, North Bennington, Pownell, Reedsboro, Sandgate, Searsburg, Shaftesbury, Sunderland, Twin Valley, and nearby Hoosick Falls, New York. We currently offer tech-academic courses as well as in-depth full immersion CTE programs that can lead to industry-recognized credentials and post-secondary training. Yes, you heard me use a word, tech-academic. It's a blend I've taken on traditional academic and technical learning. Definitely a law that created word, but I like it, tech-academic. Despite a global pandemic, your CTE Center has been able to operate in a hybrid mode for more than 6 months while working with all sending school schedules, standing up our own transportation, food service assistance, the list goes on and on. There's not a person on staff here who hasn't been pulled out of their normal pre-COVID school life. Everything has changed, and yet we as an institution stood steady. No, in fact, stronger because of this pandemic. We all look to getting back to normal, but in the meantime, we'll finish this year strong, whatever the remaining months may bring. I look forward to working with each of you for another school year, rolling out our planning and visions for the future of Southwest Tech. Finally, a huge thank you to everybody that is employed here at Southwest Tech for all that you do, all you have done, and all you will continue to do to make this the best tech center in New England. Respectfully, Mike Lawler, Superintendent, Director.
Pass along our thanks to Mike after the meeting. I appreciate that. Okay, let's move on to the rest of the agenda. We have the minutes for the full board meetings for January 11th and
Question.
the joint. We need to approve the minutes from the January 11th meeting.
I'll move them.
I'll
Second.
second it. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, question for new members. I was going to abstain from these because obviously I wasn't a board member at that time. That's the procedure, I would assume.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's fine.
I am a new board member, although I do have a couple of questions. If it's more appropriate to ask at another time, I understand.
No, you can ask them now if you have a question about these minutes. Yeah.
I'm just curious as to whether or not there's been any progress made on finding someone for the manufacturing position as well as for the culinary arts position.
So we are currently in the final stages of the culinary interviews. We have also advertised for manufacturing. We hope to move on to that position after we get culinary in place.
Are there any other questions regarding the January 11th minutes? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay,
Going to abstain.
right. Minutes from the joint board meetings of February 4th.
I'll move them.
Second.
Is there any discussion of the February 4th minutes? All those in favor then of accepting the February 4th minutes, please raise your hand. Okay.
Abstain.
Minutes from the annual meeting of March 1st.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of accepting those minutes, or are there questions? No, okay, vote. Yeah, sorry. All right.
Abstain.
All right. Okay, so next is on the agenda is the payroll warrants, numbers 1028, 1030, 1032, and 22, and 1034.
I'll move them.
Second.
Are there any questions regarding those warrants? All those in favor of approving the warrants, then please raise your hand. All those opposed? It's unanimous, I guess. Vendor warrants 1029, 1031, and 1033.
I'll move them.
Second.
Are there any questions concerning vendor warrants 1029, 1031, 1033?
I'm just going to abstain from 1031. There's a payment to Cat TV for meeting coverage in there.
Okay. Any other discussion? We have a motion and to accept, and it's been seconded. So all those in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed?
Abstain.
Okay.
John, can I just
Perfect.
make a statement about the warrants?
Sure.
For the new board members, typically after they've been approved, when we meet in person, we pass the warrants around for signatures. Due to meeting via Zoom, what will happen either today or in the next day or two, probably today, I will send all of these warrants out through DocuSign for you to sign. So there may be, in this case, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there'll be 7 places that you will need to place your signature. So each warrant requires a signature. So I will send it to the email that we have on file. And for new board members, that's the email Sandy received from you, or, please check that over to make sure that is accurate. I will be sending that out to you via email. If you could sign it in all 7 places. And then the most important thing is after you sign it, there is a finish button that you click that will move it forward so the next person can go ahead and sign it. If you have any questions about anything on there, please feel free to ask. If you have any technical issues or you don't see it by the end of the week, feel free to reach out, but you should have it coming your way either today or tomorrow for your signature. And that's what we would do after every board meeting. Once it's approved, I will be sending them out via DocuSign for signatures until we meet in person again. Are there any questions about the process? Okay, thank you, John.
I'm sorry, I have one question.
Yes.
Regarding the process of the DocuSign, do we have to upload a picture of our signature? Do we use I assume I'll just call Sandy if I have any questions.
Yeah, I can answer that. What will happen is it'll just have a place for you to sign, and on the left-hand side, it'll just say add signature, and it should automatically default to a generic one. If there's a specific signature you want, you can upload your own signature, but there is a generic that you can choose from as well. So if you have problems the first time you need to sign, feel free to give us a call and we can kind of go through the process, but there is a default one that will come up unless you want to use your own signature. Okay.
And just one follow-up question on top of that. Will with DocuSign, is there an account that we will have to use? Will it be made for us? Do we have to set it up? How does that work?
That's a good question also. No, the account is from the person sending it. And then what will happen is it'll come into your email, you'll click, it'll have a link that you'll click and it will automatically open up for you on your browser. Whatever browser you use, there's a default that you have for your settings. It should open up. You don't need a specific account. It will automatically be there for you to be able to open up and send. If you needed to send something to us, then you would need your own account, but otherwise you'll be fine just from the email.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, Becky, do you have anything on the, do you want to pass on the cash flow or revenues or expenses?
I just, again, for new board members, just so that you can see the process. I'm just opening this up. What happens at the board meetings is the cash flow is prepared by our treasurer. So I don't prepare the documents. I share the documents with the board from our treasurer. What I do with the documents is I verify our financial records to make sure that they match with what the treasurer is sharing with you. So I basically make sure that all of the information we have in our accounting system and what the treasurer states as deposits and withdrawals match, and any interest that we earn and so on. So for the cash flow, revenue and expenses, I'm sort of the sharer of information, but not the preparer. And then I do share local budget, which comes out of our voted budget, the 110 is our local budget that the voters approved. I share whatever revenue we've earned for the month and whatever expenses we've incurred for the month that our board meeting is representing. So you can see this was January's, I'm sorry, because of the special meeting in the time frame, this is a unique meeting where you have January's and February's in here. Normally, it would just be the previous month, so it would just be February's revenue and expenses. But because of conflicts with scheduling, you have January and February's in here. Basically, you just need a motion to you look it over, discussion, a motion to approve the documents as presented, and that allows for any discussion of anything that you see on these documents, but we do need them approved during the board meeting.
Okay. All right, so do you need them individually or the expenses and local budget and all that, each thing is separate, or can we do them all together?
I think in the past, they've been all together.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wanted to check. Sure. All right, so the cash flow expense and revenue reports for January and February. Need a motion to approve those. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Jackie. Okay, Jackie seconded, and I think Ken did too, so. Okay, all those in favor? Now, everybody's seen those, right? You've all seen them? Okay. Is it in your Dropbox, Anthony?
No, for some reason I did not get a packet. And I checked my email and I checked my post office box and I didn't see one. So I'm gonna have to abstain from probably voting on that for right now and look at the information when I get it.
Okay, fine, thanks.
It will be on the DocuSign. So when you see the DocuSign, it will be downloaded on there too.
That's what I figured, but thank you. I'll check that out. Thank you.
Okay.
And TJ, we'll have Sandy confirm your contact information.
Yeah, and I did receive some emails from her, but
Okay.
really we just, I didn't receive the packet. I just received information for this meeting.
Okay. Sorry about that.
All right, so we have the motion in a second. All those in favor? Raise your hand. Okay, thank you. And Anthony abstained until he has an opportunity to see those. Oh, great. All right. Are there any committee reports? No, I would like to say something about committees. We need, they're voluntary. And we've had a number of, we have an education committee. Well, actually, what happened the last time was Sandy sent out a list of the committees and so forth, and then people could sign up on that list for those committees. Yeah, go ahead, Meg.
So, right, so in the past, if board members could send Mike and I your preferences as far as what committees you'd like to serve on, then we'll kind of go from there, and we'll forward that to John.
I think we sent out a list. This is Leon. We sent a list to everybody saying what the committees were.
Right.
And then they checked off to see whether they wanted to be on them or not. It's the way you did it, John, I think.
The last time, that's right. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I guess I didn't say it well.
Now that I know that information, I'm going to reply to that email.
Okay.
Becky, I think had some,
So John, I do have a request for you to consider. And it's a request coming from the negotiation attorneys that because negotiations have already been in progress, if it's all right with our representative, we would encourage the continuity of keeping that same member representing our board during negotiations. Just because it's been in progress, it would
Right.
be helpful to have that same person.
Right, and anybody else who would, at some point would wish to be on that, would be on for the next, it's just a 1 year, it's a 1 year thing, if I remember correctly, so there'll be another set of negotiations, so if you'd like, feel like you'd like to be on that committee, you can sign up for the, sort of the second session. Is that correct, Rebecca?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So, are there any committees that feel they need to report today?
None.
Okay. Are there any other action items that I don't see
I have
any
a-
on the.
I have
Go
a
ahead.
question. Leon has a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
The new, since we got new board members, we had got Zoom, we got iPads from before so that they can be able to call in using those. And I didn't know whether there was any plans to do all of that for the 3 new board members we had that we got. That's an administration one that says that what we did was we got all the board members' iPads so that they could get stuff in the Dropbox and they can get information, the records on an iPad.
and I do, you're right, Leon, and I do believe that Mike has, it may not be an iPad, but it may be a Chromebook.
Okay,
But you will receive some type of device that you'll be able to have a Dropbox on that. Everything can be electronic. You can use it for meetings, so on and so forth. But yes, that will be the new members.
thank you.
I have a question about that really quick.
Yep.
I'm on my MacBook Air right now.
Yep.
I wonder if, this should go by context, of course. If, let's just say I already have a good device that I'm using now, would that be a fair alternative to say an expense being made by the district?
Becky?
Let me interrupt for a minute. The reason I think we have the iPads or the Chromebooks, whatever, is a security one. And so the Dropbox comes on that device and you can read it on that device. Now you can interact here one-to-one, on another device. But if the school controls the Dropbox, which I hope it will, then we don't have too many worries about devices being corrupted. And I think that was the point originally. Am I correct?
Yes.
That makes sense. I agree. Thank you,
I
Jack.
think the Dropbox security passes with Dropbox itself, and the devices wouldn't really necessarily matter, depending on how you're connecting to that wireless or Ethernet connection is secured. So the Dropbox security is blanket, I would assume. If I went to a cafe and went to an open internet access, that's a problem. But if I'm at home on my locked internet, that's different.
Okay.
I mean, I have my own device, so I'm happy to also forego it. I have Dropbox as well, so,
Okay.
but it's your prerogative.
We can after the meeting, we can connect with the board members and see what they would prefer.
Yep.
Okay. Are there any other action items that need to be, like I said, see none on the agenda? We've heard Mike's thing. I just want to, with regard to that, I want to express on behalf of the board, our appreciation for the staff and faculty working the way they have with during Mike's illness and taking over and doing the things that Mike can't do and so forth. And it seems that everything is going well. And I just appreciate the fact that you guys have all picked up the slack there, and I'm sure the rest of the board feels the same way. And I just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you.
Are there any other items?
I'll move adjournment, John.
Okay. We have a second?
Oh, before you do, I did have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Leon. I'm sorry.
This has to do, and Becky's probably already did it. I saw some information from the state where they was asking us to submit the amount of money that we spent extra because of COVID to get that replaced. So I see Meg is shaking her head, so I won't say anything else and belabor that anymore. That means she knows about it, and we're getting money back if we need to have it. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? We have a motion to adjourn. Can we get a second?
Second it.
All those in favor? Raise your hand. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you on the 19th, if not before.